What's going on YouTube? Josh here, and we are back at it again. I do apologize for not uploading videos as often as I said I was going to. I think I said I was going to try and do one once a week. Unfortunately, my recording software didn't allow me to edit the videos as well as I would have liked them to, and so I recently upgraded that. But then my recent quarter started. I'm in my fourth quarter now, and it got really busy. So I just haven't had the time to make a quality video for you guys until recently. Here, let me adjust this camera. Bring it down just a little bit. Okay. So today I wanted to talk about a nursing resource that I've been using now since I want to say about the middle of last quarter. And it has helped me out a ton. It is called Picmonic, short for Picture Mnemonics. And basically it is a bunch of little short videos with information about various diseases, disorders, lab values, etc. That uses pictures that sound similar to or in some way represent the disease or the intervention or the medication, whatever the case may be. And I'm going to take you through an example of that right now. They do have some of their videos up on YouTube, and you can see some of their information when you go onto their social media pages like Instagram or Facebook. But I kind of wanted to give you guys a look at the home screen and tell you a little bit about why I love this resource so much. So along with Picmonic, I use NRSNG or NRSNG Academy, and those two are probably the two best resources I feel on the market right now for nursing students to help you pass your classes and to help with passing the NCLEX. Now, I'm not at the NCLEX yet, so I can't exactly speak to that, but I definitely feel like I might be a little bit a step ahead of many of the students because of the resources that I'm using. It cuts down a lot on my studying time, and I feel like it just helps prepare me for clinicals as well. So let's take a look at what we got going on. Oh, let me move this out of the way. Okay, so this is the homepage for Picmonic. And from what I understand, they might be changing it here pretty soon. But one of the things that I love is it tracks how many questions or you've already been quizzed on. So up here you can see we have I've done 2,509 questions. It says that they're all correct. That's a little misleading. Yes, I've eventually answered them all correctly. Sometimes I get the questions incorrect, the quiz questions incorrect, but you can go back and retake it, and if you get it right, then it fixes it up here. But aside from the various courses that you can do, so we'll go over here to the sidebar, and you can see that it's very organized. So we have the fundamentals of nursing, pharmacological nursing, med-surg, micro, physiology, pediatric, psychiatric. You can see that I've been heavily into med-surg and psychiatric nursing because that's what I'm doing most of the time, and critical care. I feel like some of these overlap, obviously. Or if you're looking for something, you can split it up by body system. If you're studying just based on the body system, you can do it that way too. And they even offer basically like a study plan or outline of what Picmonics to view based on your book. So like I got it after my fundamentals class, so this was my fundamentals book, but this is my med-surg book. So I have used it a little bit for that. I prefer just to look up the subject if I'm for whatever it may be, and that you can do at the top. You just search whatever it is that you're looking for, and that will take you to that. But really, the number one thing, my favorite thing about the Picmonic is the daily quiz. So the daily quiz with spaced repetition, and basically what that means is you watch a Picmonic, you take a little quiz on it at the end, and then it'll re-quiz you on that particular Picmonic in a day or two, and then it'll space it out again after that. So if we go to info here, and I think you can view this without even a membership, but basically this is how it quizzes you. So you take your first Picmonic right here. It says first learn. You watch it the first time, you get 100% on the quiz, great. And then a day or two later, you may start to forget some of the material. So it re-quizzes you so that you can review it. And then it waits a few more days, and then it re-quizzes you again because you start to forget some of the material. So it's just over and over and over again. So the spaced repetition. And so they are saying that based on the evidence, this will help you retain the information a lot longer. Okay, so I have been using that, and I'm on a 91-day streak here, as you can see, and you can adjust the number of questions that you would like to do per day. So you have the queue. You can decide how often you want something quizzed, like, you know, if you got something like I have my psychiatric or my mental health exam coming up here in a couple weeks. If I just wanted to focus on those types of questions, then I could adjust it. I could see that particular Picmonic more often. So these are all like med search stuff. But schizophrenia, if I wanted to move my schizophrenia assessment up, I could do that. But in the settings, you can limit the number of quiz questions you do per day, and then you can adjust how many quizzes you do in a single round. I do 20. I feel like 20 is a good amount of practice. I usually do it in between my assignments or just kind of throughout the day. I'll jump on here and I'll do my quiz questions. And I have 108 of them to do today. I recently bumped it up to 300 total because I started studying a ton of information, because with chronic and mental health, these next two exams are covering a lot. So Sunday I did 222, 253 on Tuesday, 146. Now this experience here on the left side, which is nice, it kind of gives you a goal for the day as well, as far as just experience. So you get experience for answering the questions, and you get experience for viewing the Picmonics. And you can't see it here, but last week I think one day I had like 500 and something experience. So I watched a ton of Picmonics because mental health is covering something like 14 chapters or more, and so I was trying to get as much information in as possible so I could start quizzing myself over the next several weeks before the exam. So that was kind of my strategy there. We'll see how it pays off. But truly, I'm a very visual person, so this right here helps me when I'm viewing. And let me pull up one of the Picmonics for you guys. So like I said, I'm doing mental health and chronic, but we'll do our psychiatric, and we'll do one of the fun ones here, mood disorder. So we'll do bipolar because that one's a fun one. So we'll just look at it really quick. I'm not going to play it all the way through, but you can see here bipolar. So we have the bi-headed, two-headed polar bear. So that represents bipolar disorder, right? The DNA strip here is going to represent genetics. Okay. We have a little light bulb with wings. So light bulb is an idea, right? Most people, when you say, oh, I have an idea, you think of the little light bulb. And then wings, so flight of ideas. We have a U-shaped flower, so euphoria. And then we have a smiley face here, so euphoria. We have pause going around a clock, so around the clock activity. We have speech bubbles that are coming out really fast right behind each other, so rapid speech. We have a bunch of mood rings here, so mood changes. We go from one ring to another, stuff like that. So it's these little pictures to kind of give you an idea, and this is consistent throughout all the Picmonics, right? So this bipolar bear will always represent bipolar disorder. So when you see it in another Picmonic, you know that that's what that represents. But it's really helpful when you're sitting there for an exam and you see certain words, and it helps to trigger that picture for you to remember oh, in that picture, you know, there was this or there was that. And it's really, really helpful, at least for me, with taking the exams. Um, so last quarter, when I got in, I didn't get into Picmonic until after my first exam. But after that, I only used Picmonic and NRSNG to study for the exams, didn't read my book. I got a 90.67 on exam 2 for acute care and a 92.67 on the final. And then I was the only person to pass the ATI acute care med surge that we took, which is not the actual ATI proctored med surge. It was just a practice that we're doing at my school because we don't take the actual ATI until our 6th quarter. Um, and so in between there, we have a full quarter where we don't do any med surge type stuff. So next quarter we're taking community health, mom, baby, but no med surge. So uh, that last quarter and this quarter. So this quarter we're doing chronic ATI med surge, and it's just a practice, but just to help keep us learning the material until we get ready to take it at the end. But again, I was the only person in my cohort to pass it, and I feel like that kind of shows how effective the Picmonic was, because it helped me to remember a lot of the information, and I think that came down to the visual aspect, making it more fun and enjoyable to read and easier to remember, and the spaced repetition quizzing. Doing the quiz questions has helped me a ton. So I do quiz questions every single day. As you can see, I've done 91 days in a row. So there were some days last quarter that I missed, but I've been staying on top of it for quite a while now. So for the last 3 months. But that's my spiel for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm going to try and produce some more videos. Like I said, my quarter's starting to wind down a little bit. It's still a lot of studying, but not as heavy as far as like having to go to lab. Lab is over for the quarter. Clinicals are almost over, so I'll have a little bit more free time with that kind of stuff. But if you guys have any questions, hit me up down below in the comment section. And I hope everybody is enjoying the program. If you have questions about my program as well, I'm at Rasmussen College in Fort Myers. So if you have questions about that, don't be afraid to ask. I'm happy to answer any questions about that as best I can. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. All right, until then, happy nursing.